Hi, this is Bhavna from India today. Hi, Ashley, how are you?
I'm well. You say Bhavna?
Yes, yes.
Lovely to meet you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to see you in Citadel, by the way. Congratulations. The show is
Thank
doing so well worldwide. I want to know from you, what is that one thing about Abby that really struck a chord with you? And you were like, okay, I am on it. I want to play Abby. What was that like?
Well, I had initially I hadn't auditioned for the role or anything. I kind of just got the offer and I thought that it would be a little kind of one-liner role. And so when I saw that she was a fully fledged kind of character of her own making, I was very excited for that. And then when the twist came and I found out I'd be playing a second character, and then the other twist came and I found out I would be playing a third character, I mean, it's a dream. It's a dream for any actor, really, just to kind of study humanity in that way and to to ask questions of identity on that level was a task that I was so excited to take on.
And he was so phenomenal. I mean, I must say it like you, I was shocked every time I saw a different version of Abby on screen because I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this,
Yeah.
but I but I also want to know playing each of those characters and that development in it per se is very difficult as an actor to pull off as well. What was your process like, or were there days or did it take time to understand where Abby is going from this point to that, from A to B, how she's the transition? Did it take time for you to understand it as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, logistically, it was, we were all battling the kind of chronology of everything. It was a huge jigsaw puzzle. So I had these huge like tables and timelines and, all of that was plastered over my walls in the house I was staying in. And I worked with some incredible coaches, Lisa Robertson, Kennedy Brown, and some movement coaches and so on. And we really worked on where like the how can being be such one being who is pretty fractured in their identity, how far can their kind of chameleonic urges go in order to fit into whatever environment is kind of presented to them? And will they people please or will they be antagonistic and defiant? And so it was
Hmm.
really fascinating. The opportunities were kind of endless as to where to push her. And yeah, it was a blast. I also worked a lot with the stunt team, like learning about fighting styles and the philosophies behind them was really integral to creating the characters too.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that you mentioned that being kidnapped by Stanley was one of the highlights for you. Like, take me through that scene a bit. Like, how did it even happen? Were you intimidated on set by any chance? Because this is also, like you said, a huge opportunity per se for any actor eventually, right? I want to know what was the atmosphere like on set on that day.
Oh, it was fun. I mean, I think it was quite late. It was kind of the middle of the night when we were shooting that. And so the challenge was, making sure the 10-year-old stayed awake and clapping games and I Spy and all that kind of thing. So I was very involved with Kaylin and Aoife, her double, her stand-in. So I think that took a lot of my focus. So wasn't really thinking about, star power, celebrity power, and I'd met Stanley and we'd been kind of working together for a while by that point. So it was just fun, honestly. It was just fun.
Right, and I loved your chemistry with Richard as well from the first scene itself. I mean, in the first episode, I have loved that. I mean, the it was at ease, it was nice, it was natural. I want to know, what did you bond over on sets per se? Was there, I mean, did you all have to work for that chemistry to look that organic? Because with Priyanka, Richard and Priyanka are fire on screen, but with you, there's a very natural chemistry as well.
I appreciate that you noticed that because I think that's something that's really interesting in our popular culture. We really do um, celebrate that, like that fiery chemistry. And a lot of the time, the relationships that are built on mundanity and stability and normalcy are kind of pushed to the wayside a little bit or not acknowledged, but there's actually great value in that as well. So I appreciate that that you noticed that, because I think it's a really beautiful part of the show, is that this family is at the core of the reason why Mason is going out and taking on this adventure, and he's trying to save them.
Yeah.
And there's something really, there's a value deeply embedded in that dynamic that as a society I don't think we always acknowledge. And amidst the dopamine rush and the adrenaline of the show, it's been really lovely to kind of embody that aspect of relationships. But yeah, that came pretty naturally as well. I mean, Richard's just a freaking brilliant human, and he was a real tethering point for me as well in the shoot, because it was so immense. Like, it was such a big job, and I've never been involved in anything on that scale before. And it was, whenever we did scenes, all that could fall away and I could just look at him and I knew he had my back. He's the most generous, the most attuned. Like, he would give me stuff on my takes that he knew I needed. He would work through scenes with me if I needed it. And we had a real dance going in the family dynamic with Kaylin, where he would take care of the logistics, I would take care of the clapping games and the all of that kind of stuff, and then we'd come together and do the scene. So it was like clockwork. It worked really wonderfully, and I'm so grateful for him.
It makes me really happy to see the kind of dynamics the entire cast also shares off screen, because that is why it is so strong on screen as well. I mean, the entire camaraderie, the interpersonal relationships. But I also want to know, because Priyanka is also part of this, and Priyanka, of course, is our home girl here. So I want to know from you, how much did you get to spend time with her off screen? Because on screen, of course, we know both of you are capable actors, but off screen, I want to know what were the conversations like with her.
We spend a lot more time off screen than we do on screen, and it's a blast. I adore that woman. She is deeply inspiring. I mean, on screen, she's got this like spontaneity and this acuity that invigorates every single moment and keeps everything fresh and breathes life into every scene. But she has that off screen as well, and I'm just constantly baffled by her capacity for versatility in like off screen as well. When we're interacting, both of us are really goofy, and we get the giggles and we do our like very silly things. And then she's this incredible businesswoman with a sharp
Yeah.
intellect. And all of her ventures in humanitarian organizations and in businesses, like her leadership is astonishing, and her passion for the environment with Anomaly, the haircare brand. And but she's, I got really sick while we were filming, and she handpicked a basket for me and sent it over.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
just so thoughtful. Like, she's a busy woman, and she doesn't have to do what she does, but she's so generous and so hospitable. I love her.
Wow, lovely. I am so honored to hear that, because obviously it always makes us proud when she's also doing well. I mean, it's just a thing, I'm sure you'll understand. Where when you do good, I mean, Australians would feel exactly the same. They would be like, oh my God, this is
Oh,
lovely.
you should be, because, and I was just saying, I read her book recently, and the impact that India has had, obviously, on her life, and
Hmm.
but learning about those aspects. Obviously, I've never lived in India. I've actually never visited. I'm desperate to, but
I
it was.
was just about to come there. Why were you not present for the Citadel screening that happened here? And when are you planning to visit India?
Oh, as soon as I can. I really want to do a big trip in India. I would love to do, like a long stint and like the cities and also rural areas and so on. And it's always been a country that's called to me, but I've always known that I didn't want to do like a quick touristy trip. I want to spend
Hmm.
time there, and get to know people and yeah, really be in the world there.
Yeah, I would love that. And that is why this entire Citadel spy universe is so interesting to me, because we speak about global content, but Citadel is actually making it real. I mean, because in the name of global content, earlier we had remakes being done in different parts of the continent, right? This is truly global, because you're actually having one show which is set in different countries, and then the amalgamation, which is amazing. I want to know the kind of reception that it has got is amazing again. What are the kind of reception that you are getting from your home country, your people? What are they thinking about this?
Oh, they've been, I mean, I haven't, it's kind of new, like it still feels like it's just kind of been born into the world, but everyone's been really beautiful and supportive, and people have been tagging me in things. I'm terrible at the internet and social media, so I'm not across it all. But the little bits of support that I have seen, and even talking to journalists and so on who are wanting to discuss things that I did back in Australia that really launched my career or made me feel very passionate about the work is really lovely. So it is very special to have that connection with your home country. And I have Australia. I also have Saudi Arabia. That was where I was born and raised. And so yeah, it's just been, I felt very supported by the global community. And I am so excited for the Indian portion of the universe, and really excited that it will be local language, local filmmakers,
Yeah.
that it will be truly an Indian voice. That is something I think Prime Video and Agbo is, I really appreciate about this kind of adventure. This
Yeah, this is truly a cinematic adventure, like you said, because I am personally so, so, so excited about this. Lastly, now I want to know, there's a bucket list every actor has, Ashley. I know that you've done amazing work already, and this is like one of the biggest series for you as well. But what next? Who do you want to collaborate with next, perhaps?
that is such a hard question. I mean, it's interesting because there are a whole bunch of huge names that I could list off. I mean,
Hmm.
there's so
Just
many.
on the top of your head, like just one name. Right now, we're just talking about one name.
Oh, I mean, I loved Licorice Pizza and Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Werner Herzog and like I love a lot of pure filmmakers as well. But and I also really love you know indie filmmakers. So they're like a lot of huge names, but then I really love the passion and the intimacy of small independent projects as well. And there are a couple out there that I just have my heart set on. And but yeah, I don't want to jinx anything. So
Okay, we are not jinxing anything. We are just manifesting the best
yeah,
things for you right now. But thank
exactly.
you so much for your time. It was lovely. It is an honor to watch you play Abby, and I hope that you continue to get amazing work and continue to surprise us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. It was lovely to meet you. Thank you for the beautiful questions as well.